Jamaica, welcome to Gleaner's Sports Unwrapped, the Gleaner's weekly online sports review. Today we talk auto racing, karting to be more specific, with Peter Ray, the president of the Jamaica Karting Association. We catch up with a lot of exciting news coming up after the break. Welcome back to Sports Unwrapped, Gleaner Online's weekly sports review. I'm Leighton Levy, as I said before. With me is the president of the Jamaica Karting Association, Peter Ray, and lots of exciting racing going on this weekend, and of course, lots of exciting news in kart racing coming up in the near future. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Peter, let's start out. First of all, we have a big meet coming up this weekend at Palisadoes. Tell me a little bit about it and what can we expect?
Well, this is round 2 of our 2011 championship at the Palisadoes International Raceway, which is on the airport compound just opposite the Petcom gas station, for those who don't know. We have a full lineup of karting championship races, very exciting, from little tiny 9-10-year-olds right through to the oldsters like myself. We all run on the Rotax program, which is an internationally recognized series. In fact, it's the largest go-karting program in the world, Rotax. And we have a line with that group with the motors that we run, the Rotax 125cc. And it has really raised the standard of karting in Jamaica, the Caribbean, and in particular in the States, where we've been competing quite successfully over the years.
Yeah, you mentioned that the Florida Winter Tour that runs from January through to March. We've had a number of Jamaican young drivers involved. Can you tell us about some of those drivers and what they've been doing?
Sure. Well, we have a good cross-section of drivers. Leading the charge is Colin Daly Jr., the Red Bull athlete. He runs in junior with William Miles in junior and Matthew Williams. And then we have in the Minimax class, that's Thomas Issa, Joshua Sagani, and Jonathan Law. This is separated by ages. Then below that, you have the Micromax, which is basically headed by Justin Sagani. He's doing quite well. He's solo in that. The other classes have some Jamaican support, but he's doing pretty well. And we've just concluded the second round, which was at West Palm Beach Raceway, which was fantastic. We're talking 250 karts, very high-tech. This is like Formula One in karting. Big 45-foot rigs with 2 karters with 24 engines. You know, when we go up there, we're on a dental floss budget, as I call it. But we still do well. We Thomas placed 6 out of 38 karts in the finals on Sunday. And the technology and the driving skill we know transfer back into Jamaica on Sunday, so the crowd can come out and see expert maneuvers on the track, from the youngsters right through to the oldsters like myself. Yeah,
well, let's talk a little bit more about the youngsters, because Jamaica has a burgeoning group of youngsters. Yeah, you mentioned Colin Daly Jr., you mentioned Joshua Sikani and his brother Justin, Matt Williams, of course, Jonathan Law. A lot of young talent. Tell me a little bit about the talent and what makes them so good.
Well, we have the crown jewels of a racetrack. Many international drivers that have come and driven at Palisades Raceway say that they've never experienced that sort of type of track and how it's set up, particularly with the backdrop of the harbour, very picturesque. And these drivers are out there weekly, sometimes twice a week, training, and nothing beats practice, and we find that our cost of using the track is a lot less than in the States. So you find that the youngsters make use of it, and any given weekend you'll see 2 or 3 teams testing out there, and the track puts them through their paces. It has long straights, tight bends. You have to maneuver and know what you're doing with your braking points and so forth. So when we get onto the tracks overseas, we get there midweek, and by the Friday we're pretty much on the pace. However, the guys that are living up there are doing this, one kid has like 1 million miles on a track.
Yeah, incredible.
It's amazing, but we do well.
But Jamaica is set to play even a bigger role in terms of the whole Rotax with the Pan American Championships that comes into being this year. Tell me a little bit about that championship, and of course, what role will Jamaica be playing, hopefully, in the near future?
Well, they've approached us. In fact, from last year, they've been talking with it. It's a recently new series introduced in the States. I think it covers like 4 tracks last year, and they want to broaden it in the region, hence the Pan American name. We have competitors from Brazil, Guatemala, Venezuela, Canada, USA. It's a good cross-section of very competitive drivers with big bucks, and they've looked at our track. In fact, the fellow who is promoting the Florida Winter Tour that we're competing at now, Bill Wright, has been to our track and he loves it. He said the facility is great. You know, we have the hotel network, parking is good, and he's now pushing to see if we can host in 2012 one of the legs in the Pan American Championship, which would be great for Jamaica. Maybe 100, 150 carts. So it'll be good exposure for Brand Jamaica and us karters.
But I mean, how close are we in terms of readiness? Are we right there, or is there some matter of signing off?
Not quite signing off. There's some little issues that we're dealing with. One of them is the ability to move the equipment in and out of Jamaica fairly quickly and efficiently, because of the equipment needs to be used overseas, you know, a couple of weeks afterwards. So we're going to be having dialogue with Customs and Sports Minister Grange and so forth to make a complete professional package to them, and also bring in Bill Wright, who will be championing the cause from the US point of view, and it will go well for Jamaica. I think it'll benefit the country in terms of the spin-off, and also the youngsters and the talent, showcasing them at a tender age. In fact, some of our younger kids are actually 5 years old, which we really start them at, you know. And it shows in the progression, and it's a family sport, a lot of entertainment. So this event will spotlight Jamaica tremendously, with the media coverage internationally. So we're looking forward to wrapping that deal up in maybe a couple of months.
As president of the Karting Association, where do you see the sport in like another 5 years in Jamaica in terms of growth and in terms of opportunities for youngsters?
Well, I would love to see a track in the Montego Bay area. I would love to see racing reignite back in the stadium, which I'm working on. If we can have a couple of races in amongst a Reggae Boys football match, it would be great for us, showcasing the talent from the 5-year-olds up. And I'm hoping that we can have what we call the Formula One ladder. We'd like to sort of see somebody from the Caribbean, and Colin Daly is quite expertly poised for that with his Red Bull support as a Red Bull athlete, and they have a program for Formula One, and they wean them in from a young age. So with him flying the flag high, I'm hoping, you know, in the not too distant future, my lifetime, I can see a Formula One driver hail from Jamaica. What
is the reality? That's the last question. The reality that we see another Colin Daly, is he that distinctive a talent, or is it that we have the ability to produce more?
Oh, it's like a production machinery out there, you know. Josh Zagan is like a walking computer. You tell him what to do in a corner and he just goes back, and lap after lap he does it. When he goes overseas, people are amazed at this little stature of a youngster, 10 years old.
Yeah, he's really tiny.
Yeah, amazing what he can maneuver. And as I say, it's a factory that we're doing, the JK factory of producing drivers, and we're hoping, you know, more spectators will come out, get their kids involved. Parents can come for a spin now and then, and it teaches you driver control. So these kids at 5, 6, 7, when they become 17 for the license, it's going to be a piece of cake, and you're going to have a much improved driver network on the road than what is happening now, because people don't race, they see the activity and want to take it out on the track. Now we urge to come and be part of it. Buy a car, come and race, and when you get into your car, you don't want to go with a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit.
Well, sound advice here from Peter Ray, president of the Jamaica Karting Association. When we come back, we wrap up with Sports Unwrapped for this week. Well, that's it for this week, folks. Sports Unwrapped, you heard from Peter Ray, president of the Jamaica Karting Association. Of course, you can catch Sports Unwrapped at jamaicagleaner.com. Look for the Sports Unwrapped logo, click on it. Or you can send us your emails at sportsunwrapped@gleanerjm.com. But of course, we couldn't let you go without giving you your interesting sports fact of the week. You heard Peter Ray mention Colin Daly Jr. But did you know that Colin Daly Jr. is the only Red Bull athlete in the English-speaking Caribbean, and one of only 500 Red Bull athletes worldwide? This is your sports fact of the week, and this has been Leighton Levy, and this is Sports Unwrapped. Until next time, this is me saying bye-bye and be a good sport.